Hey, what's going on? This week I was asked, how do I engage in culture and still keep my Christianity? And I get so bummed that those two are like in two separate camps. Christianity over here and it's bifurcated by culture. I subscribe to the school of thought that culture influences so many aspects of life. And so, if Christianity isn't engaged or aware of what's currently going on in culture, we are going to miss an entire generation, specifically within pop culture. And so, I want to go ahead and target a little bit about this and have a new springboard. Usually, people will always go to Jesus Christ, high priestly prayer in John 17 to be in the world, but not of the world. We see NOTW on t shirts and bumper stickers and stuff like that. But I think a proper foundation would be to start off with the Great Commission that we see in Matthew 28, verses 18 to 20, to go out into all nations and baptize in the name of Jesus Christ. And in going into all nations, we need to understand that all nations incorporate different cultures, whether that is ethnically, nationally, racially, socially, whether it's an urban context or a suburban context or a rural context. What does that look like? Well, to first and foremost start off, I believe that as Christians, we should not only be consumers of culture, just taking in culture, but contributors to culture. Because we as Christians have a voice that can contribute and add and help determine the flow of where culture is going. If we do not speak into culture, we are going to be silent religious hermits that have no voice anymore. So I believe that it is important to have a pulse and an understanding of what's going on. In fully loving our neighbor as we love ourselves, like Jesus Christ commands, we have to understand where they are, what they think, where they're going. But in addition to that, it opens up a door for them to understand who we are, our biblical worldview. First, asking, what do others who are not like us, others who are not in our culture or subculture, what do you believe? What do you think? What are your own spiritual beliefs? To learn about that and get a pulse of where they're going opens a door for us to understand where they are on multiple levels. Secondly, it opens up the door for them to engage with our worldview. And our worldview, in dispensing that, we are able to see what they think of us, what they think and perceive of what we believe. And we can dismantle that which is not true and affirm that which is true. So engaging in culture, I'm going to take one aspect in regards to films. I hear very many conservatives and fundamentalists say that by going to movies and watching television that we're completely marring ourselves and we're to be separatists and completely against that. What about Pixar's very, very amazing film, Finding Nemo? We see a story of redemption. We see the story of forgiveness. We see a story of reconciliation by a father that's looking for a son. Very prodigal, if I might say. What about Pixar's WALL-E? WALL-E goes out in life, rejected and ignored, and yet he has the key of life. Hello, if that isn't the Jesus message, I don't know what is. We see stories like A Beautiful Mind, which so eloquently and so beautifully play all the way up into the end what it looks like to live in a delusional world and become faced with reality, finding love, forgiveness, and acceptance right in the middle of that. American cinematography, American cinema gives a pulse of where culture is going. If we are not engaged, or I don't want to say engaged fully, like it becomes our life, but we are not aware or knowledgeable of what's going on, we are missing a huge generation. Christianity is 10 to 15 years, according to social studies, is 10 to 15 years behind culture. If we are not careful how we're engaging in culture, that is now going to be 25 to 30 years behind, and we're going to miss out an entire generation of Christians, God-fearing Christians, biblically based Christians that can influence and inspire Christians to take a new road and not only being consumers of culture, but contributors of culture. Assignment this week is to see where God is moving in cultural context and how you could speak into that. I hope you join the conversation, drop a line, leave a comment, send an email, whatever. Have a great weekend. Bye.